Hey out there, this is Friday, July 21st, 2017, and it's about 2 minutes past 10 in the morning here in Northern California. And today I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff as usual. And I kind of wanted to speak to economic matters, and these include social and political matters too, which is pretty standard about this kind of stuff I get into. A lot of commentary, that sort of thing. But I feel like I could be hitting a collective nerve with this idea that, we're all okay with other people being born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We're not resentful or covetous. It's what normal, upright, decent people are. We don't resent others because they were fortunate, born blessed, lucky, whatever you want to call it. They have trust funds and this sort of thing set up. So they never have to ever worry at all about financial matters. Those were taken care of from birth by their parents or somebody else, some other benefactor. But I don't know if I use that word correctly. I get these terms confused once in a while. But whoever endowed them with the trust fund. So my question to the whole world would be, hey, look, we're all okay with these people being born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Now, are we also okay with me being born with a silver spoon in my mouth? And everybody would agree, yes, because you're just another human being and you were lucky and fortunate, whatever. Yeah, you had good karma, whatever you want to believe, that, it's all okay. So my question is, if okay for me, everybody would agree, and is it okay for you? And everybody would say yes. If it was me, then it would be okay for me. So where I think people have a problem is just understanding the implications of what you believe. Because by doing so, you'll have a whole new perspective on this, the idea of being born wealthy, being born with equal rights, equal entitlements, because an entitlement, although often used pejoratively, is actually a good thing. It's a right, and it's very critical that we understand this point. I saw Owen Schroyer on the Alex Jones show recently, and he made the point that do we live in a land of just laws, or is it a land of justice, a nation? And I would agree that what we have a lot of laws. They're supposed to be based on morality and these sort of things. But we all agree that there's nothing immoral about people being born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So then we have to logically ask ourselves, what's wrong with the idea of all of us being born with a silver spoon in our mouth? Not because of the laws of man, but because of reality. The only worthy, legitimate reality is the one that's dictated to us by our owner, by our creator, by God Almighty. Okay, that's the one that the Constitution of the United States embraces, is what God says. That's what makes America livable. That's what makes America the greatest nation on earth, is that we have this United States Constitution and all the amendments therein. I played a little bit from a tune from the Beach Boys, as Cotton Fields, at the beginning of this tape, and I'm sure hoping they don't censor it. Maybe I'll advance the tape and chicken out, because if they censor it, then nobody gets to hear what I'm saying, and I cheat myself and I cheat everybody else. So I'm not sure. I haven't decided if I'm going to play it, but it's that sort of thing. I find that as a hindrance on my First Amendment rights. The idea that I can't play music, okay, while I'm speaking, if it inspires me, then I think it ought to be fair. If I just want to be listening to music right now, I ought to be free to do it without someone shutting down my video, silencing it because of a copyright claim. Again, everything has to do with money. Politics is all about money. And we've got to understand that the laws of the land are supposed to be all about morality, right? You don't steal from others, and if you do, we're going to incarcerate you. You don't rape. You don't be a pedophile. Okay, you don't do a lot of things because it's morally reprehensible, and the law will come down on you. And we all understand it. We all agree humanity has a consensus that yes, those things should be illegal. Robbing a bank, or I don't know, maybe the drug thing is a whole other thing. You see, I mean, might be an instance where we're talking about a controlled substance, right, when it comes to drugs. One that who's controlling? The government. And unless we define the government, okay, in a way other than the Constitution, which is we the people, not we some of the people, we all the people, okay, unless it's a law that we the people have decided on, that it is the government with a small g, the government, the bureaucrats, the politicians, the judicial system, people that benefit. It becomes like a special interest group that says, well, it's to our benefit to have these laws because they profit us. They're to quite some avail in terms of making us relevant. Okay, do you understand how the judicial system works? So if the system didn't have all the problems it has, they would lose relevance. They lose control. So it really is that sick and twisted, and people have to wrap their minds around it. We have to share the burden. We have to carry the cross collectively. And what these people are telling us to do is become very divided about things, saying, oh, your theology, your philosophy, your belief system, your mindset, you're screwy. Okay, all you libtards, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, fine. And they say the same thing. Okay, and then it's this irreconcilable state of difference where they are getting their way. Who are they? Okay, they are the people that are pulling the strings. These are the grand puppeteers. These are the top money-loving class who will let nothing stop them from staying in power. And that means they don't care about murdering the innocent one iota. Okay, that's it. They apparently, by their fruits, okay, by the evidence, have abandoned their conscience, okay, as just an annoyance, just a hindrance, just an obstacle. And they have no faith in it. They have no investment in it. They have no concern for it. They don't value it at all. Okay, so it's just an annoyance to these people, okay, that are running the world, that are creating the policies that we all have to live under. So it's no wonder that, you know, we're screwy in the head, all of us, because remember, the educational system is being controlled by these same people. And the media is being controlled by these same people. The media, aren't these the educators? Information and education are synonymous. Why am I the first guy I've ever heard point that out? I mean, everybody should point that out. Information, we need accurate information. If you're going to be accurately educated and informed, if you're going to know the truth from lies and deceit and rubbish, then you have to know the real truth. You can't know a pseudo-truth. There is no such thing. A pseudo-truth is a lie. It's deceit. It's propaganda. And that's the kind of crap we're being fed in society right down the line. So if all of our thinking is screwed up, it's no wonder. I wonder how the system could work if we were all born rich. But you know what? If that's God's will, and I firmly, wholeheartedly believe it is, and every day I believe it more, that this is an inevitable state of affairs for humanity. This is the only way we can be truly free. Because freedom is an absolute quality in the highest form, definition, translation of freedom is an absolute quality. And in order to be absolutely free, you must be financially free. Just like anybody born with a silver spoon in their mouth is born financially free. They are born absolutely free. Okay? As long as they're not in jail and they've got their First Amendment rights, right? Okay, so, I mean, it's really not screwy. It's not at all illogical to say that God's will is that we find that state someday, and we've got to work toward it. So how do we work toward it? We could do it gradually, but we haven't been allowed. There's never been a period in history when humanity's been allowed to be free, okay? Because then there'd be an example written in history of how well it worked. Because I firmly believe that the system's not going to break down. I believe that people have an instinct, okay, and they don't feel right if they're not being of service, of being of use, being helpful, being appreciated by their fellow human being. Especially today, in this day and age, with all the technology, the mechanization, the automation, the robotics, all this crap. Our workload is minuscule compared to what it used to be. So when I hear Alex Jones talk about the entitled class, if he's talking about that, you know, now people forget that the industrialization of the world is a pretty recent phenomenon. In the last couple of years, it really sprung up. But before that, I mean, we were living with gas lanterns and the whole bit, starting fires to keep warm. I mean, well, we're still doing that. So some things never change, I guess. But it was a whole different world. We were using, horse and plow or ox and plow sort of thing to till the land and try to grow food for the masses. But we've always been under the thumb of some bureaucratic leader, some politician, some king, some nobleman. And if they were good, it was good for the people. It was a period of prosperity. And that's what we're talking about here. A period of prosperity is a period of freedom where you get a taste of freedom. When people start really serving each other because they damn well want to and nothing's going to stop them. And that's just the way it is. We'll fix our problems together. Okay, all the problems we have in society are being invented, manufactured, created by evil people. And they're lying to us. They're misleading us. They're the illogical ones. They're the nutty ones. They're the madmen. They're insane. Okay, but they keep on trying it. They keep on trying to convince us that we need to keep beating our heads against the wall and keep trying things in society that don't work. Okay, I mean, here's an issue for you. Affordable housing, okay? Do you know that's an anathema, an utter and complete anathema to a lot of people? That's a bad thing, okay? Because it's antithetical to what people that are extracting exorbitant rents and mortgages want. Okay, all the real estate agents, all the lenders, all the speculators out there, all the property management companies and landlords and all these people, all the flippers, all the builders even, a lot of the contractors. I mean, they say the more money I get, higher the prices I'll charge, more I'll get my cut, I'll make sure I have housing. Hell, I'm building them. So everybody's in on it, all these special interest groups colluding. And they see this as a bad thing, to have affordable housing. So the media doesn't try to pull this crap about there being a housing shortage. This is the kind of thing you used to hear in the 70s when the problem was much less acute, okay, because we had a much more egalitarian society. If you go back, you see that there was a period when there was very little homelessness. I mean, there might have been transients, hobos, and this sort of thing, gypsies. I mean, you always get these people that have that wanderlust. They're not content to stay in one place. Maybe they are drinking. Who cares? Who knows? It's their life. They should be able to do what they want. But there's transient people. There always have been. And they ought to be free. There ought to be facilities set up for those kind of people. Nice facilities for everybody. I mean, we don't need to put up with this crap. Make a kinder, gentler, safer society. And am I a bad guy? Am I a lunatic? But look all the interests that are opposed to me, okay? Because this one thing, it's political. And nothing to do with Democrat, Republican. Okay? Nothing. Because conservatives and liberals and Democrats and Republicans, the socialists and the crony capitalists are all in on this thing together to raise our cost of living, your cost to survive. That's your cost to exist. That is a tax. Make no bones about it. That is a tax. And when they raise your cost of living, they debase your currency. Okay, it's a perfect equation. Okay, just like a scale. One goes down, the other goes up. Your cost of living goes up. As your cost of living goes up, your taxes go up. The worth of your currency goes down. That's anti-progress. That's regression. That's what they've done to us. So they exacerbate all the problems in society. I mean, we're talking about just maintaining extreme poverty. They need desperate extreme poverty. They need people to be dying out on the streets. Okay?